This would be
Carlos,
episode 67.
Man, we're just plowing right through them.
We're getting through. We are.
So we have a new guest on, my friend, Jason. And what's funny is, Jason, I have no idea what your last name is. I've never asked. In my phone, and this will be something we can talk about, Jason Londons. So your last name is Londons to me.
That's pretty funny. I think I've got you as Nate Poole.
That's good. That's how we met.
That works.
This is one of the gentlemen that I battle with in the world of pool. I generally don't have a lot of competition, but for some reason, I don't know if he gets in my head or what. But the first time I ever played him, we have a mutual friend. We have a couple mutual friends, specifically Jalen Omaker. I do know his last name. Good buddy of mine. I met him on what we call Hell Night.
Okay.
Hell Night's a tradition. Jason, are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
So Tullahoma, Tennessee, which I love this town. I'm there all the time. I was there last night, hanging out with my 72-year-old buddy, Husky. That's my buddy. We sat there. He drinks a couple, what does he drink? Fireballs. He has like two of them. Anyways, he's an old high school teacher. He's always talking about jumping out of airplanes, loves machine guns, and I just love talking to the guy. I just hang out with him every time I'm there. I just love it. But I ran into Jalen one night. I was shooting good. I was on fire, and he just thought I was some kind of prodigy at pool. So they started coming to Murfreesboro and shooting. Brought Jason one day, and we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. That's how we met.
You want to know what I remember about that is music.
Music.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to talk about music.
Hell yeah, we're going to talk about music.
We have a weird connection with music.
We talk about anything.
This is our gay connection we have.
It is pretty gay, the kind of music we both like, and I've never met anyone with similar gay tendencies toward music. Most guys just want to talk about hard rock or like old country, but we started talking about kind of easy listening stuff, and he brought up Leon Bridges to me. I'm like, no one's ever brought Leon Bridges up to me. It's the other way around.
Right.
And we bonded ever since. We got into Leon. I'm terrible with the names. I'll know them when you mention them. And I know a lot of music, but I'm terrible with the. Anyways, we got shared music, not many songs, but we've shared a few songs, few unknown artists, and it's been a pretty good friendship. Hey man, you ever heard of this?
Little Kenny G connection.
We've never shared a song, have we? No. Me and Greg share songs, so it's not that gay.
I feel like our songs would be incredibly different.
I bet. What do you listen to?
Well,
I don't have a clue.
I'm a
what you
super old soul, man. Like,
oh yeah, you're Sinatra.
I'm like Sinatra,
I
Rat
love that
Pack, Elvis. You know, like
I listen to that.
That's my jam. I mean, I get into my Latin modes where, you know, for spurts where I want to feel Hispanic, or I see somebody drive by with a Puerto Rican flag in their car. But other than that, I revert right back to it's podcast and old school.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we shoot pool together, and it's a good time. It's,
a worthy adversary. Worthy adversary on the pool table.
Yeah. He's really surprised me.
We're pretty close. We're pretty close. I'd say any game we play, I feel like could go either way.
Yeah, when he gets in my head, now once I'm on, I don't know if he's got a chance. I just can't seem to get on when I play against him.
Psychological warfare.
I can once I get in a roll, like the last time we played, I think you may have beat me, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I keep track.
We have an 80-year-old guest, Miss Barbara, who plays pool
shark.
several times a day. And she's the most unassuming pool shark ever. And we're trying to set up a competition here.
I don't know if it's a competition, but I'd like to take her out one night. Take her out and shoot a little pool. Date night.
I feel like we need to record that.
You think she'd be down with that?
Of course she would.
Okay.
Where does she play?
Senior centers, the clubhouse where we live.
Oh, okay.
She hops around, but she'll leave, go on a walk, go to a dance class, come back, play pool. Like she does it several times a day. It's her thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But anybody, we was talking about being good, like when you're on, it's hard to beat anybody when the confidence is going. But for whatever reason, I need to get there about an hour early and kind of get in a groove. And once I own the table, my goal is to go in with $1 because it's $1 to play. My goal is to spend $1. And if I ever get beat, I just go home. Not as a sore loser, but that's the goal.
Okay.
It doesn't quite always happen, but yeah. It's a good time, though. It's one pool table. It costs $1 to play. You put your name on the board, and it's not like going into a pool hall with 40 pool tables. This is not a great pool table, if I'm being honest. It's probably not the best place to play, but it's my favorite place to play because you can almost develop some nerves because everybody's watching. It's a very audience-based game.
Well, with one table, of course it is.
Yeah. And then you wait in line. You get beat one time, you might have to wait through 10, 15 names to play again, and that's frustrating. So you have a what would you say?
Just added pressure, definitely.
Yeah, the added pressure of wanting to win, and it's really competitive.
Then if you sit out, you're sitting there stewing.
No, I don't know. Some people
I'm
may stew.
stewing.
You're stewing?
Absolutely.
When you get you're
Oh,
competitive.
I'm a poor
dude.
sport.
Are you really?
Absolutely.
I didn't notice that about you. So we're learning
That's
more.
because I usually win, I guess.
My God. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have to start practicing.
Probably not.
We're going to
next
have to
time now
change
that
that.
I've had that.
Yeah, I'm going to come
like
in locked in next time. I'm going to come in locked in. I wanted to play last night, and there was nobody there.
I wish I'd known you were there because I was on the fence about going. I
I
would have
didn't
gone.
want to tell you. I felt like the last time I told you I was coming, I got in my own head, and when I got there, I didn't play as well as I usually do. But anyways, that's how we met, and we were chatting probably last Friday night, maybe, just having a great conversation as we generally do. And I thought, you know what, this is how I invite people over. And I don't think we'll get into the things that we were chatting about, but there seemed to be a really good dynamic, and that's how the first 40 guests I had, I met them in a bar. So I was thinking, shit, why don't you come on the podcast and we'll just chit-chat through this thing. He's going through life changes. You don't have to talk about them. But, yeah, I thought this would be a fun conversation, and we should document it.
All right, I'm excited.
So that's
about
why
it.
we're here. Now, where the fuck do we go from there? We'll figure it out.
That's
We
why
always
it's called
do.
random thoughts and exploration. We can we have started in the weirdest places and ended up in left field. So,
But I know
it's part of the
exactly
fun.
where I'd like to start. How do you feel about these flock cameras, Jason? By the way, before we go there, what is your last name?
Dougherty.
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 I never knew that.
If you looked at the spelling, you would pronounce it Dougherty, but
Dougherty?
it's pronounced Dougherty for like
So
the
there's no
harsh
C?
Irish. No.
Oh, it's an Irish name.
Yeah.
My man. We never made that connection, have we?
Well, you know,
My
it's
last
funny.
name's Carol.
I'm adopted. I mean, sort of
Okay.
adopted. I mean,
Well, it's okay.
my stepfather adopted me, and so I'm Scottish actually.
Okay.
And, but I have an Irish last name, and my ex-wife used to love. She's extremely Irish, and she used to love the fact so many people would see the last name and say, "Oh, you married an Irishman."
Well, my
Well,
son,
no, I didn't.
I adopted my oldest son, and then one night he said, Dad, because I was just talking about the influence that I've had in his life since he was 2 years old, and he goes, history remembers names, not blood. And I thought, damn, that's good.
Whoa.
I don't know where he got that from. Probably Game of Thrones or something.
That's
but
pretty powerful,
He's
though. I
proud
like
to be. He's
good.
proud, and in my mind, he's Irish because I have invested everything I have into him. So yeah, he's as Irish as anybody else at this point. Because it's really about your legacy that you're wanting to share. Him. He's adopted it well.
So basically, he's not going to be wearing one of those hats ever.
Probably not.
He actually, my kids don't really drink. Yeah.
I was going with the Irish thing, you guys.
With the
Didn't
drinking?
didn't laugh at the.
Let's see
joke,
Carlos's
yeah.
I
hat.
got it.
Well, what? We're talking about the
got it.
drinking, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
See what my son's wearing.
Yeah, we're a little different on these styles there. I forgot that I love.
Well,
this.
it was a free hat that they gave me for buying a bottle of Proper 12, and they was like, "Here, free hat." And I felt bad because I left. I was on the phone. I left, and I was like, "Damn, I didn't even say thank you." And I was tempted to turn around and go back, but I was already like a quarter of a mile by the time I had this revelation. I thought I'll remember the next time I go in. I didn't say thank you for the hat. Here, let me see the hat, Brennan. It's a proper hat. It says Proper 12. You know what I mean? It's a nice green hat. Anyways, I figured my son would enjoy it. And Carlos, what does your hat say?
And see, that's green for go drinking. Mine's red for stop drinking. So, make sober great again,
you're
kids.
intuitive. That's pretty good.
We all got our thing, right?
That's pretty good. Do you drink, Jason?
A little bit.
What do you drink?
Usually beer with the occasional shot of tequila.
Okay, so you mix them up. That's dangerous. I keep them separate.
Yeah. I used to have to, but I think my body finally adjusted and said, all right, I guess we're going this way.
But you're not a big drinker?
No,
I've never seen you buzzed, honestly.
I'm learning how to hide it better.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, shit. I'm sorry. I'm
As
drinking
he
beer,
takes a
and
sip.
I didn't offer anybody one.
Well, I was a little nervous coming here. I thought I had enough time. I almost ran to a bar and did a shot just to see if
Really?
that would calm my nerves.
I can give you a shot if you want one.
Nah, I'm good.
No, there's nothing to be nervous about. Shit, we do
This is just
every
hanging
week.
with the boys and talking.
Yeah,
Just
you
with
just-
a giant microphone, like
With
2
a
inches
giant
from my
microphone.
mouth.
You're supposed to forget it's there. He's really good at that. And the miracle of editing makes everything look good.
there is no editing. He's over there just pressing buttons.
Hey,
But-
stop taking away from the man's
No,
skill
so
set.
okay, let me just
He's
mention.
great.
So I don't really watch the podcasts, but I felt like, we had some funny moments. And I thought, you know what? Let me see how that episode went with the flock cameras. And I was watching, but what I was watching was his ability to. He's a great producer.
He really
He
is.
has an instinct about switching cameras, and I was about to say it to you earlier. Like I'm fascinated out how he knows. like instinctually who to go to. I mean, there's three choices. It doesn't sound like a lot, but he kind of nails it. And then there's sometimes he completely forgets to switch the camera. It'll be on the wrong person for like 2 minutes.
I don't know that he's done that on occasion, but
Yeah.
I like it when, let's say maybe he's talking, but he's getting my reaction. So he'll switch to my face and I say nothing. And I'm over here making a face at what he's making. And it, for the person watching, it's like it's a laugh. It's great.
Yeah, because there's no way you can edit that
Yeah.
in post production. It's all done. It's a sealed deal. You can't switch the cameras afterwards. But
So real quick, I think you just answered my question. So you're switching cameras real time?
yeah, he's
I always
switching cameras in
assumed
real
that
time.
was after the fact.
It
Wow.
used to be,
Okay.
and I got tired of doing it. It's a pain in the
Yeah,
ass.
you're sitting there toggling back and forth. It gets,
Yeah.
I thought he was
I
playing
tried to do
solitaire.
it. He was in the hospital, and I was like, all right, Carlos, we need to keep going. So it was just he and I had to sit over here. I put a table up, and I thought, well, maybe I can switch between the two cameras. Oh, I did a terrible job. But, you're part of the conversation. It'd be easier if you're not over there, on camera and having to, be a part of the conversation. I just guess I'm not great at multitasking. But, yeah, he's nailing it. I'm grateful. I was bragging on him probably a week or two ago.
Yep.
Yeah, super grateful. He's managing everything now. Yeah, and now Carlos is the famous one. He puts everything on his platform, and so the tens of thousands of people that he's grown into, very appreciative.
All
of Carlos,
6 of them. Thanks, guys.
And we're appreciative to guests coming on too, giving points of reference. I don't ever prepare anything. If you didn't notice,
Yeah.
it's random thoughts.
No, you
So,
warned me. I like that.
I had to the pull. That's all I got.
Well, I was thinking, had you given me topics to begin with, I would have started trying to pre-frame
Yeah,
how
well,
I was
yeah.
going to answer stuff, and it wouldn't be
Yeah.
natural.
Did you have
so.
anything you wanted to talk
Well,
about?
he didn't answer the question you asked him.
What was the
because
question?
you went
Well,
off on a tangent
Sorry
there,
about
guy.
that, folks.
Flock cameras?
Flock cameras.
Yes.
We
thank
talked
you.
about it a little bit last week.
Did we?
And watching the podcast I watched where you guys talked about the flock cameras, I don't say...
Do you have an opinion?
Oddly, I don't have as strong an opinion, and I'm usually pretty opinionated.
You are very opinionated, and I wouldn't say stubborn, but I would say you
Stubborn.
have conviction in your beliefs. And one thing I noticed, and I thought it might be an interesting conversation, it's not easy to sway you at all. You're kind of, what would you say? I mean, I could say stubborn, but I don't
Hey,
think it's
I'm
that.
good.
I'm good with stubborn.
Steadfast?
Yeah,
Steadfast.
Let's go with steadfast.
Yeah, because it's a quality, not a,
Depends
Because
on who you ask.
stubborn, it could be a detriment. Like he's stubborn as a mule,
I
man.
think
Like
you're open.
you could
change
be
your
open, but you have to give him a proper argument. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Jason will say, I'm not sure about that. Okay.
Question everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have how many years in this world of experience?
I am 57.
57. Have you noticed?
You're in great shape,
he is,
dude.
Well, he works out. That's
Yeah.
something I thought you guys would
Yeah.
probably bond
Yeah, I kind
over.
of picked
Yeah.
up on that. You
Y'all would have
know
your
way
little
around
gay
the gym.
moment like we have
I wear
ours.
the nephew's shirts.
You didn't hear what I said. Y'all would have that little gay,
Better than
bonding
Kenny
moment.
G.
Yeah, we'll
We
talk
don't share-
about
we've
bench
never
press, and
shared
you and I will
Kenny
talk
G.
about
Yeah.
Barbara Streisand. Right.
I don't think we've ever shared that either, but we have shared some good music. But
You're
the
going to edit
fitness,
that out, right?
you're pretty. No, ain't it shit out.
That's part of the fun.
The fitness, you're pretty much. What is your? Carlos would like to know what your fitness regimen looks like.
I'm still old school. They call it the bro split. I don't know why. I keep meaning to Google and figure that out. But have you heard that term?
Yeah.
Where you basically just do a body part
Body part a day.
a day. I don't know why they call it that, so I kind of just do the same.
It's like bro science. It's just
Okay.
now everything's hybrid training, which I went full on in. I do high rocks and all that.
Okay.
But the bro split, I'm all about it because old school works. That's what Arnold did.
Yep,
That's what all the big
exactly.
boys did.
That's what
and
I
it
tell
works.
people.
And you're 57 years old and look like that.
You're
it
in incredible
works.
shape. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got no gut.
Yeah.
Carlos
Oh,
and I
sucking
have a
it in.
gut. I'll
I'm
tell
sucking it
everybody.
in.
I mean, we cut the camera off so you can't see it on Carlos and I.
Mine's getting smaller.
I only manage my stuff by dieting. Like I just don't eat. That's my secret. That's my secret to dieting.
I wish I could
don't
do that.
Well, it's easy. It's easy to be hungry. It's a pain in the ass getting up and go to the gym.
No, I don't know.
No.
We call it fasting. We call it fasting.
I wish if I had the same discipline with my diet that I have with exercising, because I work out every day. I mean, almost without fail. But when it comes to diet, the minute I open that fridge, all bets are off.
How many
feel
years?
that.
How many years did it take before you felt like exercising was actually a benefit rather than just something that caused you to be exhausted afterwards?
It's hard to say. I mean, because I was skinny rail. I was like one of those like skeleton kids when I was younger, and I was on the football team in high school. So it was kind of like I had to bulk up. That was the only choice I had. I never got big when I was younger.
So
but I
you
was,
ate. to get bigger.
Oh yeah, I used to do that. Instead of just protein shakes back then, you do carbohydrate shakes. You're probably too young to remember that.
No,
it was very effective for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that.
I think if you were to approach it with less stubbornness, you may find some joy in the consistency of it, but you didn't go that long, buddy.
I was pretty consistent.
You look pretty fit. I just assumed you
Damn
do work
fit,
out.
dog. Let's get on a damn bench press. I might impress you. But it's hillbilly strength. It's from picking up heavy
Functional
things
strength.
because I was getting paid to do it. There's a different kind of strength. The gym strength is different than farm strength.
Absolutely.
Way different.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yes, farm strength is unassuming. You wouldn't realize some of these kids raised on a farm been picking up hay bales their whole life and wrestling calves. Those boys, we call it retard strength too. It's different. I don't know if can you say that?
I mean, you just did. Hey, and
I've always tried to push
my
the
next
limit.
hat is "Make America Retarded Again." So I've been trying to push that, but people were like, "Take it easy with the R word."
We try to stay a little edgy.
Have a sense of humor.
Yeah, the people we hang
There's
out
a
with.
topic for you: political correctness.
There you go.
Oh boy,
How much-
bullshit.
Well, first of all, we didn't get the flock camera, and we didn't really get. I really want to know how long it took you, because we had a guest last week that said it took a couple years of religiously going to the gym before the benefit kicked in, and he felt like he had more. What would you say? He wasn't as tired, I guess you could say.
See, timing has to be relative because obviously building the body you have took years and time. However, to feel the benefit, I mean, if I don't work out, I feel tired.
Your energy levels seem to be high.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I start 4:15, 5 a.m., and that sets my tone for the day. So for me, it's like, rah, I'm ready to go. I am way more tired at the end of the day, but I go to bed with satisfaction because I woke up with determination. You like that?
I do like that. That's good.
But
He's been working on his quotes of the day.
I calendar word of the day. I said
Twain.
gratuitous the other day. He told me to shut up.
I saw that in that one.
So he says years, and he's kind of edging you towards years. Did it take years?
No, but again, I would say other than a 3-year period, I've worked out steady my whole life. Maybe a little bit of time off for injuries here and there, but I actually this is kind of interesting because just recently I had a surgery on my leg. And have you ever seen me in shorts? Oh, I showed you my leg. I showed you my leg last week. So I've had skin, muscle, and bone grafts on this leg from a motorcycle.
Yeah, I was looking at his shin, and I thought, that's one big-ass muscle on a shin. I've never seen a muscle on the front. He looked like he has a calf, and I ain't making fun of you. But I was thinking, damn, it looks like a calf on the front of your leg.
No, I'm
How did
proud
that
of it.
happen?
Motorcycle accident when I was 17.
See, ain't that cool?
Motorcycle
Ain't that
man.
cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's a cool injury. We can talk about that.
There you go.
Was you doing something cool, though? Or were you just
No, I was commuting.
inexperienced?
Commuting.
And a car hit
And
you?
I don't remember any of the accident.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, so it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
17, commuting, what happened?
So it's really weird, and that you probably have heard this before, or maybe you've been through it, but when you go through a serious trauma like that, your body shuts you, like you're
shock.
down, your mind shock. And I have vivid memories to this day of leaving school at noon because I was like in the work program where I could leave and get credits at school for working. I can remember pulling down the bus ramp, right? And of course, revving my bike, showing off and everything. The accident happened around 6:30 in the evening. Don't remember any of it, even though all the witnesses said it seemed like I was completely lucid. And even the people in the ambulance said I was having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
So I came
Probably had a concussion, maybe?
yeah. I mean, as you can imagine, I was pretty damaged. And on Thursday, I woke up. I came to in the hospital, and I knew everything that had happened and didn't remember how I knew it or anything. And to this day, I have zero memory.
I'm so confused on how you're saying that. You knew everything that had happened, but
In
no
the
memory.
moment.
I'm still confused.
Because you can block that out. Like what he's talking about, like shock and trauma.
Yep.
You can be lucid during a traumatic experience, during the actual event. And then as you calm down and things settle, your mind decides, I don't want to keep that memory. It was too bad.
Well, let me add this. And this, I don't remember the accident. I didn't remember that happening, but maybe we'll edit this out. But my girlfriend died in the motorcycle accident. Yeah.
And there you have it.
When I came to on Tuesday, I knew she was gone.
Okay. That's the difference.
That's the traumatic trigger that said, I don't want to remember this. My God,
So
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
I mean, it's
If I don't
40
have
years
to
in the
edit it
past.
out, I won't. But if
you don't have to
No.
for my behalf, but I don't want to bring it down. I'm fine. It's
No. We talk about heavy
stuff
too, man.
happens
Yeah.
all the time.
So 40 years ago. So anyway, like I don't remember the mechanics of the accident,
Yep.
any of that. But I remember. But when I came to on Thursday, I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always suck in these moments. I never know what
My
to
God.
say.
There is nothing to say.
Yeah.
That's just it.
Yeah. 40 years. You've learned to cope with it?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still haunt you?
No, I mean it really doesn't. Sometimes
Yeah.
I even feel guilty
Just an
that it doesn't
accident.
haunt me.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
maybe you've just learned how to cope with it. Yeah.
what can you do, right?
It's life. We we all die from something. I guess it just sucks to know that you're associated with it. And
Sure.
but it's still in one way or another inevitable.
Yeah.
But I've always thought if I did go out, I want to go out doing something cool.
Oh,
Not
absolutely.
a stupid ass heart attack like my dad. Did your dad die of a heart attack?
No, alcoholism and organ failure.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
shit.
So,
Significantly less cool.
yeah, significantly
I
less
don't
cool.
know. Good grief. It just
And
keeps
he
getting
was
worse.
Dad
And I
was
think I
like
knew that.
the Clint Eastwood,
Yeah.
strongest dude I ever met in his 60s. He could take, if he took my shirt, he'd be stretching the arms out. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And I just saw him go, so part of the reason I drank so much, you know what I mean?
Good grief. Let's see if I can recover from this.
Hey, come back
No,
from
no.
that steadfast.
Well, I do joke about, like, if I do die, and I'm not really worried about dying from, like, having fun. I think I'm going to live too damn old is the problem. That's what scares me more than anything. But I thought,
Well,
good
only
grief,
the good die young.
Yeah, the good die young. But the
You're
coolest
safe.
is when there's a story to tell about how this dude went out. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
that's kind of awesome. Zip lining, parachuting, a wheelie on the highway.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go out that way, but shit, I think you're way more. The deaths that I remember from my childhood, the people that went out kind of legendary, I still remember them for some reason. But the people that kind of croaked for natural causes seem to be forgotten quicker for whatever reason.
Yeah, I can go.
Or am I
with that.
crazy?
No, I mean, yes, you are. However, you are correct. Like, you know what they say? Like, when I die, I want to like slide into
Heaven.
the casket and roll in there all beat to hell because it was a cool ride. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm being just silly, but I don't have a fear of death. I have a fear of living too damn long and outliving one of my kids. That terrifies me.
I
Yeah.
can go with that. I don't want to go slow. That's my thing. Like,
Yeah.
At least let it be cool, but I don't want to go like slowly losing my mind, reverting back to a place where somebody's got to wipe my butt. Like, no, man. I want to go on my own 2 feet, and if I'm headed that way, lights out, baby. Let's go.
I heard that.
You know?
But if I can add one thing, I mean,
You can add whatever you want.
know,
Bail me out.
So I've ridden dirt bikes and I've ridden street bikes for most of my adult life. And one of the conversations I've had with friends is, because we have had to deal with some deaths, people dying on a bike, is it's like if someone dies doing something that was
love.
high adrenaline that they loved, you almost have to like factor that into your grief, because you have to say that person knew the risks, and the risks is what made them enjoy it
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Yes, sir.
So in a way, it's almost like if you're 100% grieving somebody and you recognize, well, they got so much enjoyment out of their life, and 20% of that enjoyment was because they knew they were on the edge. You almost have to appreciate that, and it takes away some of that grief.
That's a fantastic perspective.
I truly
Yes.
believe that. And
Yeah.
I've said that to Michelle, my ex-wife. I'm like, if I go doing these stupid activities, know that that's what made me so happy all these years.
Well, let's talk about these
I love
stupid
that.
activities.
I love that.
You still ride motorcycles or want to get back into it?
I'm gonna get back
'Cause
in the
That's
street.
another thing that we had in common. I apparently was the first person you'd met in a long time that talked about supermotos.
That knew what a supermoto was.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what a supermoto is unless you ride them.
And you got to see mine for the first time.
Funnest damn thing in the world.
You want to ride it? We'll
some
set it
point,
up.
yeah.
Let me charge the battery. I'm so sad I haven't ridden it. How long has it been since I've ridden it, Brennan?
A long time.
God, I've been hurt on it so many damn times, but it is the most fun
Have you
on
crashed?
two wheels. Oh my God. I broke that one bike. I broke 9 bones in 6 months.
Maybe I'm not riding
my
hard
back
enough.
being one of them.
Wow.
Ribs, I broke both arms showing off for Brennan. I'm sure I told this story before.
Wheelie gone bad.
No, I was practicing the opposite. Stoppies.
Stoppies. Yep.
I got into watching supermoto tricks, and I was like, damn, I'm kind of old, but I think I can still do these things. And I started practicing, and I was getting pretty damn good at stoppies. And I had this vision that I could do a damn stoppie and like do a 180, you know, like on a nose wheelie and then turn around. So I was like, he was in the front yard with his buddy and wanting, I don't know if he wanted me to show off, but
Yeah. that sounds more accurate.
completely sober. I don't get on the bike if I've drank a drop. So yeah, I come in a little too hard, wanting to just really ride this nose wheelie out, stoppie.
Awesome until the end.
Yeah, and the flip, the bike landed on top of me and broke both my arms. And I get up, I'm like, Brendan, get the bike, put it in the garage.
Holy cow.
Call your mom. Yeah, I knew I'd broke both arms. I'd broke my ribs, my arms, like it just pile drive me into the cul-de-sac.
Oh my God.
And I don't think I've done a stoppie since.
Well, I tried to learn too, and the first time I went over the handlebars, I'm like, "Fuck that! I don't need to do a stoppie. I look cool
Yeah.
doing wheelies." You
Yeah,
know?
over the handlebars would not have been bad. It was over the handlebars and the bike landing on top of me was the problem. Yeah, it literally, I don't know if it could have been any better. I think literally the back seat just landed right on my back and just drove me into the ground. Yeah, and then I flipped it a couple times, got hurt a few times on that, but I love it. It's the easiest thing I've ever ridden. Like, you feel like you have a superpower on those bikes. It's not like the old school two-strokes where you actually had to have a gift, you know what I mean, and braking. That thing, you just cheat. It is just, you give it power and it goes up.
You don't
want
even
it
need
to come
to
down.
cover the back brake because
Yeah.
you just let off the
So
throttle
much
and that-
engine braking.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So what's the last supermoto you rode?
I did have a 500 for a little while, but it wasn't tuned, and the tune makes a big
What kind of
difference.
500?
A KTM 500.
You're kidding.
Nope,
So you know what I'm talking about.
absolutely. But get this, I had a Husqvarna 2006 factory-made supermoto. So these aren't factory-made for the street, right? You basically have to take a dirt bike, turn it into a street bike. Mine was actually a factory-made one. It was the most chaotic kind of power I've ever had.
Well, that one was actually made for the street, but it was an enduro,
Right.
you know, and I did put a tuner on it. And the first time I flipped it, I put the tuner on it. It was good. But then when I pulled the reed valves out of the intake, I feel like I gained like 15 horsepower and I wasn't ready for it. And so that's the first time I looped it. It just had too much. That extra 15 horsepower or whatever it gave it, 10, 5, I don't know what it was, but it felt like 50. And I think the thing has 70 altogether, somewhere around that. And that's crazy
For
on a bike
a
that's
200
small.
That
50
little
pound bike.
tiny bike.
Yes, yes. And
Oh, my
it's
God.
the most powerful thing I've ever
Yeah.
ridden in my life. And it's a different kind of power, though. You know what I mean? It's a single cylinder.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it because it's not like the Duke. The Duke is like you can't hardly hold on to it, but there's enough weight to keep the front end down. That sixth gear just comes right up. It's pretty crazy.
I can't imagine that kind of torque on such a light bike just because, like, putting the stage on mine, and that's an 800 something pound bike. And I was like, holy crap.
how much horsepower?
You know? I don't know off the top.
100.
But when we tuned it, put the new exhaust, did all that stuff, like I was scared for a little bit. So I have a Softail Standard that I basically turned into a lowrider ST. Everybody thinks it's a lowrider ST, but I did that, and with a lot of help. And that after the tune and the staging, like I was like, holy crap. I mean, I just felt like I was brand new riding again. So that's with an 800 pound bike.
Right.
250, I'd kill myself, bro.
And
All I
Carlos-
think about is my arthritis from head to toe.
This is his second bike. He waited his whole life to get a bike, and it was like an
Yeah, I started riding
anniversary
at 40.
gift. It was an anniversary gift for himself when you stopped drinking.
My
Year of
first
sobriety.
year of sobriety, yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about motorcycles for so long, and like he just inched his way into it. Now I see him out all the time. He rode by waving at me the other day. Now you're doing passengers. I keep noticing.
Yeah.
That's a big difference too. But your passenger
My passenger's
probably is like
103 pounds.
you
It's
don't
not
even
really
notice her back there.
I've got lunch bags I take to work that are heavier, you know.
Yeah.
They call it a backpack.
She's teeny
yeah,
tiny.
Exactly.
She's teeny tiny.
Well, you'll
Yeah.
appreciate this real quick, talking about the two
Road
stroke.
rash. I can see that
Yeah,
too.
so this is because I was riding my supermoto so much. When I got back into riding dirt, I had a two-stroke, and I forgot about covering the back brakes. So the first time I rode a wheelie,
Flipped.
yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
your scar really stands out. Mine looks like a great tan on
Well,
both
mine,
of them.
I've got all these freckles, so they're just now coming back. That's why it stands out so much.
Yeah, these are all road rash scars. Sleeping. You were talking about like the memory of that accident. I had one where I was running maybe about 130 and wiped out, and I have no memory of it. And I wake up, and my cousin, I don't think if you met my cousin, the pool shark, he's talking to me, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, well, what the hell happened? He goes, "You wiped out, bro." And I started running back in my mind because I was delusional. I was thinking, I remember sliding on my feet. What, didn't I? He goes, "No." I was like, no, I remember like hitting the pavement and getting up on my feet, like surfing, and then falling and then getting back up. And he goes, "No, dude, you were asleep the whole way as you slid past." He goes, "I thought about trying to stop your body, but you were sliding so fast, we just had to wait until you stopped. And then we drug you out of the road and then put me on the trailer."
He slammed himself into a surfing dream.
Well, yeah.
Like,
well, it shattered the helmet, so I must have hit really hard.
Dude.
Yeah, I must have hit really hard.
This all makes sense. This all makes so much sense.
I didn't have any memory, but he saw it happen, and he said when I was pulling third gear, and I was probably inching 12,000 RPM, so we're guessing 120, 130, somewhere around that. And it was the first time I ever rode the bike. I'd been on it for maybe 3 minutes, and he was like, ride it. And of course, I'm going to try to ride a wheelie. And I think when I set the front end down, I think it must have just been a little bit cocked. Do you see that guy, the MotoGP rider that won the race just recently? And he's doing his victory lap, and he's riding that really cool wheelie. And when he set the front end down, he just wiped out. Yeah. That is what happened to me. I think my handlebar must have just been turned a little bit when I set it down, and it body slammed me. And I hit my head so hard it shattered the helmet, and no memory. I went to, how many hospitals to go to? Three hospitals. I was so out of it. He took me to the first hospital. I walk in and I see the doctor. I won't mention his name. And I'm like, "Get me the hell out of here. Take me to a damn hospital, a real hospital. This guy ain't working on me." So I leave, and then his mom picks me up, takes me to another hospital. And the chick, when I'm checking in, had like a little bit of an attitude, like, just like, "Can I help you?" Like just a subtle attitude. And I said, "No, take me to a real hospital." So they took me to a third, and they were pretty awesome. Yeah. I have an attitude. A concussion will do that to you.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, it was the concussion.
That's it.
Listen, I'm in pain. You got to be nice to me. It is funny because I had tore my shoulder, and the nurse was holding my arm up, and I was fine. And she just let go of it, and I caught it, and I said, "I think I'm gonna pass out." And I did. I literally fell asleep right there on the thing because the pain was so severe. And then they woke me up, and they're like, "Your sugar must be low." I'm like, "Hell no, that hurt." So try to give me crackers, but my shoulder was torn. Yeah, a lot of motorcycle wrecks. I swear, I think that's why I feel so young and I'm so limber. I've learned how to flip and flop down the road, and I think that's how I keep all this. What would you say? What is this called?
Flexibility, mobility, agility.
Mobility. Yeah. I'm pretty mobile.
Spoken like a man who has had various concussions.
You're probably quite a few.
This guy, you get the hell out of here.
Yeah. But I do think it's kept me young. I really do. I think
absolutely. Especially
doing dumb
Supermoto.
things. Yeah, I think doing dumb things keeps you young. But I don't know. I've just resisted riding lately, and I've had no desire. I went up and I thought I was getting in a Harley.
He was going to buy a Harley not too long ago.
I rode a bunch of them. I got a bunch of footage that I need to do something with because I was going to do the footage, make a video, buy the bike, present the whole thing. But then I haven't been able to sell my bike. I had 3 bikes out there, and it was ridiculous. And so I thought, nope, I made myself a commitment. If I can sell that one, then I'll buy a Harley. And, the dealership can't give you what you deserve or need.
But you've still got the Duke and the Supermoto.
You walked right past them.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm KTM all the way. But I'd like to go to Harley. The Harleys were amazing. They were fun.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. They are.
He wasn't expecting them to have the power that they have. Like it was. Yeah.
They're fun, but
nimble. I didn't expect them to be nimble.
Are they?
Really blew my mind.
Some can be. Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
I thought it was going to ride like a cruise ship, and take forever. No, I was able to just cut and carve.
He was having a lot of fun with
impressed. Yeah, I was really impressed.
At London's last week, I went up there for lunch. A guy had the electric Harley. I can't remember what they call it. Have you seen it?
Oh no, I can't go.
Gay.
I can't get behind that.
Pretty damn cool though.
They did a whole show about Livewire. That's it. They did a whole show on it. It was either like, oh my God, the Long Way Home or the Long Way Round. It was Ewan McGregor or something.
Okay.
They did various ones where they'll go across like a continent. They do some wild stuff.
Yeah, I've seen Ewan do that.
And they've done them on like enduros. They've done them on the electric one. They had like Rivians following them, and nobody took into account that in cold weather the battery's going to die faster. and it ended up being like a commercial for the Rivian, which performed fantastic. And the live wires were like, they're covering this thing with blankets, putting fires next to it, trying to plug it, do whatever they could. It took them forever. Finally, they had to cheat in the damn show and use like boats and jump on like a bus for part of it. And then they rode the rest of the way where it was a little warmer. And I was like, y'all can't sell this.
I do like to be very judgmental on something like that, because the Harley's identity is the sound, is the torque, is the power.
Potato.
Yeah.
You know?
Just the Jetsons, I'm like, no.
I don't want to hear
the
that
only
crap.
thing that should be electric is hand tools. Electric hand tools are the greatest things ever. And even these lawnmowers that you just like a Roomba. You've seen these lawnmowers
those
that
are
cut your grass.
awesome,
I'm like,
actually.
yes, this is a genius way to take advantage of electricity.
The electric bikes are cool. People are using them to commute. Students are using them.
that would be fun.
I ran on the Greenway the other day, and I'm seeing a lot of electric bikes. And I'm like, listen, I'm cool with this being a commuter thing. I'm cool with this for students. What a great way to get around. Cheap, right? You're broke, you're whatever. Let's go. But you're supposed to be pedaling. Like, there was a lot of like heavier folks on them, and they're just zipping around. And first of all, better than being on the couch. Good for you for getting out. Good for you for getting some sunlight. Let's, pedal half a mile and then do what you got to do till you'll build up. They're just cruising on this thing, and I'm just like, you're defeating the purpose.
If you had to put in effort to charge the battery and then you could take advantage of the battery.
I'm okay with it. Like, go a little halvesy. Work your way up.
I'm okay with it.
I do have an electric mountain bike. I've got a regular mountain bike
Well,
as well.
because the only reason I won't get into mountain biking,
I'm okay with that.
look, the only reason I won't get into it, it looks fun, but it's getting to the top of the hill that bothers me. The mountain biking, the fun part is just ripping downhill, right?
Yeah.
But getting back up, you would have to tow me. I'm not doing it.
But I was reluctant to get an electric one, but there are trails like I ride in Swanee, and there's a lot of uphills.
Oh, so beautiful,
And those
yeah.
are just over my head. I end up hiking my bike up the trail. So it's like I finally bit the bullet and got an electric one. So it's like, all right, when I get into trouble, it's nice to have that.
Yeah.
You got to use it as a backup. Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty impressive.
I've thought about getting into cycling. I thought that, but then I went one time with a buddy of mine. He's like, "Oh, you're going to love it." My ass hurt so bad the entire time. And I thought, I can't do this. Like, they're going to have to give me a banana seat or something.
Your ass gets used to it. It just takes some time.
Yeah, they say that in jail too. Like, absolutely not. This one, no, absolutely not. Hey, this one goes out to Leanne Malone, my homie from Cover Your Assets Insurance Company. Great name, right? Cover Your Assets. So she was trying to get me into the cycling thing for a minute, and I said, these seats are not built for straight men.
No.
Like, this is, you're riding on a lady's sex toy, and it is not built for you. She got me those biking shorts with the butt pads on it and everything. Bro, you get 15, 20 minutes, and I'm like, no, and you have saddle
It's more than
sores
just
and
your
getting all
butt. You like, whatever that bone is around your, can I say taint? But that area
Nothing is
hurts
supposed to
so
be
bad. It hurts so bad. I don't know how
have
people
bike
get
shorts, and I promise you, you do get used to it.
I'd have to stuck a dozen tampons in those bike shorts just to give me a little more padding.
Listen, I don't think so, Scooter.
That's it. I'm quitting riding.
No, like, I was like, give me my nice big Mustang seat that can fit my wide ass, and I'm okay. I am not doing that little, no.
You know, the tampon, I don't know if it's called a tampon. What's that pad thing called? Oh, I'm using it on my elbow. Okay, so they make a
not
pad.
where it goes.
Well, let's just, the pad thing, right? So in the military, when we were doing in the prone, did you ever do this when you had to shoot? Our drill sergeant's like, get you some of those tampon things. You put them in your elbows, so when you're in the gravels, it worked really good.
You're talking about moleskin.
What is that called?
It was moleskin.
No, it wasn't. It was a female feminine product of
the
very
only
wide pad.
thing we ever
Maybe
got
I
For the
dreamt
record,
this.
it's a pad. It's not a tampon.
Okay, see? It's proof that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I thought it was
A
common
maxi
knowledge.
pad. A maxi pad.
There you go.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, people are probably like, what in the hell is he talking about?
Ladies, on behalf of men everywhere, especially the ones in this room, we're sorry.
Yeah, we apologize.
Well, I mean, not for my ignorance. I'm not supposed to know about that stuff.
And as
I
usual,
just know
except for Nathan.
that they worked as a really good elbow pad, when you're shooting in the prone. I don't know who came up with it, but it worked and it felt good. Because when you're on the elbow for a while and there's gravels everywhere.
So you're wearing tampon, or you're wearing.
See, you don't even know either.
Pads on your forearm, but you're gonna give me shit about riding a mountain bike. All right.
I'm not giving you shit about riding a mountain bike. I'm saying I would like to do it, but I can't. It hurt. So I'm.
Lord, oh my God! You know, we
Am I
can't edit any of this.
Am-
This
am
all
I-
has
I'm
to
not
be out.
crazy. I'm just telling you my
are
experience.
Bat poop crazy.
This is my experience.
Oh, my
the
Lord in
thing
heaven.
hurts, and we have to come up with a compromise. We have to come up with something. Banana seeds, something.
Wow. So let's shift away the hell from that. Motorcycles, mountain biking. What other exhilarating things are you into?
I'm an avid tennis fan.
Really?
That's the other big
Not
caveat.
pickleball?
Watching and playing. No, as a matter of fact, I hate pickleball because it's taking over tennis. It's
that
fun.
okay?
It really is.
It's fun, but when it first came and got popular, it was for people who aged out of tennis because it's much less physical.
Shorter,
but now people, even young people, are playing pickleball instead of tennis, and I hate that. It's killing tennis.
And competitively so.
Very much
It's
so.
taken over where I live. Like everybody's in there. Shout out to Mark,
played on
Jordan,
tennis courts?
Zach.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, they were selling the hell out of. They're trying to get me to go out there.
My
and
friends
do
have
this.
tried to talk me into it too.
And they become obsessive.
It is
Yeah.
fun, but it's just, to me, being a traditionalist and loving tennis, of course, nowhere near as close.
You don't want to see your
Okay.
sport become contaminated.
Watered
Absolutely
down.
not. Yeah.
And so you watch it and play it?
Yeah.
I don't know that I could watch it.
No. I mean, there was one, I don't know, she a Russian tennis player.
Oh, I know who you're talking
I
about.
don't know who she was,
Yeah, little
but that was
blonde.
pretty entertaining to watch.
There's
and
been a
Andre
couple of
Agassi
them.
was fun back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that little blonde. I didn't give a crap about the tennis game.
Well, in
The way
the
she would scream every time she had hit it.
in the 90s, it was Anna Kournikova.
Anna Kournikova.
She was the one that was like a model tennis
Yeah.
player, and then in the 90s and 2000s, it was Maria Sharapova.
Yeah, Kournikova though. Yeah,
Very
yeah.
popular.
Oh
I
man,
can't remember who that is. Yeah, I've never been into tennis.
But any sport that I follow, I care very much about the personalities. Like, I can't root for a
Okay.
team if they've got an asshole as their star. Like, when I first moved to Tennessee, Chris Johnson was the running back, and he was such a douchebag. And I'm like, I can't pull for a team knowing that if I met this guy and knew him in my life, I wouldn't like him.
I've been considering watching the WNBA, which I could care less about basketball, but there's this blonde-headed girl that's cracking me up, and she's like
Sophie
everywhere.
Cunningham.
Oh,
The chick
Sophie.
that's pointing.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
fantastic.
Isn't she? And then
Yeah.
that little black-headed friend of hers, I guess, is like the big deal.
Caitlin Clark is
They're
And
the
she's
only
like a
two
great
reasons
player.
people watch the
Well, it's-
WNBA.
Why is it? Is it because of them two that it's
just
popping
them.
off?
Yeah, because they're popping off. Because
Yeah,
like,
I think I would like to watch that. I like their attitude.
Yeah.
They have a great
They're-
attitude.
Caitlin Clark truly has skills.
She is
a great player.
Sophie Cunningham
Absolutely.
is she's big. Her size plays into it, but I mean,
I think it's her
when you talk-
personality.
well, her personality too. I mean, everybody loves her because I mean, just she's got a great personality, and but Caitlin Clark is like a player.
she's a legit player.
she's very
Sophie
skilled.
was also. She just did. She was one of the ring girls at
I
UFC
saw that.
recently.
I saw that.
And
That was like
a
the
big
first
deal.
time I saw her, and then
Yeah.
for whatever reason I saw that. Then the Instagram algorithm starts feeding you. So
Yeah, it
But,
just
but,
keeps
but what's
going.
great about Sophie Cunningham, I'm loving this, right? Because they asked her in a press conference how she felt about trans women playing in the WNBA. They asked her this question. She gave her honest answer. She didn't think it was right. They are attacking her. Why did, she should have kept her mouth shut. It's like, you asked her the question.
I would want those lunatics to attack me. I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
They can say whatever they want.
And she's standing her ground, which I
Good
love.
for her. And
Yeah.
but that is also her brand. Her brand
Yeah.
is to stand by
Yep.
her.
I like
By
that.
her word, and I can appreciate that. That makes me like her even more.
I would love to go down for something that I believe in, and flock cameras might just be it.
Go back.
Privacy. I'm pretty passionate about it, if you can't tell.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
So, your opinion on flock cameras now that we've circled all the way around to come
All right.
back
So
to
when
this.
you talk about flock cameras, you're talking about.
I'm talking about
You're not talking about the
surveillance.
ones that can give the automatic speeding tickets. You're talking about the surveillance aspect.
This
of it.
private company that's
Correct.
surveying private individuals across the country and collecting metadata. And here's the problem I have. People will make the argument, oh, this technology has been around for 20 years. No, it hasn't. They're like, oh, AI, they've been using AI for 20 years in these automated tag readers, what automobile ATRs.
Oh, the LPRs.
LPRs.
Yeah.
License
I heard somebody
plate
else call it ATRs or something like that. And I thought, nope, that was like a closed network. And if any AI was being used, it was machine learning AI. The large language models are completely different. They can act on behalf of this data, and where the machine learning did like comparative analysis, it wasn't intelligent in any way. It was a way to find data really quickly. We've used machine learning for many, many years. So to have this consolidated network being ran by these huge large language models that's keeping up with your every move, when you drive by, what you're carrying on you, what devices you have, I have a massive problem with it. I don't like it. And because it's removing the effort, and everybody, the argument is, but look, it's saving lives. But it's like, that feels good to save a life here and there. But if your goal is to save lives, then why aren't you standing up for abortion? Why aren't you standing up for big sugar products that's killing hundreds of millions of people? So it's really not that. It's what feels good. And just because it feels good, it can't trample on my liberties. You know what I mean? You can't take my right for privacy away because it feels good to do this other thing. And that's really the problem that we've always fought since the beginning of time, which our forefathers knew that, and that's why they implemented it the way they did.
Well, how would you equate that, though, to walking into a business? You walk into Walmart and there's security cameras all over.
I have the choice of going in there. But if I'm riding the back road on the way to Tullahoma, you're removing my choice. You're removing my choice of being surveyed.
It's a valid argument, but is it a practical argument? I mean, where can you possibly shop today where you're not going to be on a security camera?
Just because it has already gone this far, I can't justify going even further. I can't say, well, you've been surveyed for 20 years. Why do you have a problem with this one? Well, I've had a problem with all of it. This is just being managed by a large language model that terrifies me, and it's too powerful.
Well, we've talked about this. I mean, I consider myself uber.
You're an IT guy.
Well, yeah, but I consider myself pretty conservative about. I'm all about personal freedom, personal autonomy. But help me connect the dots with your concern, right? They're collecting this metadata. So let's say worst case scenario, how they're going to use this data. How does that infringe on your personal freedom?
I think I'm entitled to the right of privacy, and for me, being in my vehicle is the same as being in my home. And now they can drive by my home and see what I'm doing, at all times. And just being on a back road, I don't know. It's not like I was telling Tim the other night. It's not what it's doing right now. It's where it's going to go. And when you consolidate power and you give these people these tools, because every 4 years, it depends on which, what would you call it? Which administration is in power. I don't want to create these tools for conservatives or liberals. I just don't think they should exist, in my opinion.
Well, and I'm not trying to be argumentative in a way. I'm wanting you to convince me. So that's why I say take it to the next logical conclusion, worst case scenario, how they would use this data. When you talk about privacy, how is it different than the people you run into in public?
Like this, I don't have any privacy on this, but I've chosen that. You know what I mean? They're removing that privacy. There's some things that I'm willing to give up for convenience, and I've been okay with it here.
But if you're in public, there is no privacy. If you're in public, that's the point. That's the difference between public and private.
You're allowed to wear a mask and have. It's getting very complicated. But
I'm just trying to figure out.
I get what you're saying. There's no expectation of privacy in public.
Yeah,
right.
Once
and
you
a
go
road is public.
Yeah. People observing me driving by, I have no privacy there. I get that. But someone's recall, someone's memory, someone's effort, is different than this AI database that's keeping up with literally every single movement I have. And so everything I do will be predicted. And I just don't like it. If I decide that some government entity, is hostile or whatever, and I want to withdraw from participating, I don't have a choice anymore because I'm part of this neural network that knows what I'm going to do before I even do it. And I just don't agree. I think at some point, I believe at some point, the power being consolidated that much is just going to turn into a complete surveillance state. And I'm not that educated on it. I just know what happens when power gets consolidated like that. And it terrifies me.
And we're living in a surveillance state.
Yep.
Whether it's convenience or luxury, we've given up a lot of our rights. You talked about your phone. We talk about our cars. Unless you're driving an analog, and even then, they're still like, you probably got new tires on there.
Yep,
there's
TPS
an RFID tag. There's something like we can pick up anything.
End?
But
where does it end?
Yeah, and I understand all that, but I guess like when I look at something like that, and I think, how could this data be used in a malicious way against me or somebody else.
It's already been done. I mean, like, people are leveraging access to that technology to track people. I mean, people have been falsely...
I'm talking about malicious intent, right? The data can be used, but if there's no malicious intent towards me...
I just know what human beings are capable of.
Well, short of a rogue agent, or if, you know, he decides
I'm not
to get on some
technically
watch
worried
list.
about myself. It's about the rights you have to privacy. It's not that I'm really worried about being caught doing something wrong.
It's just the fundamental aspect.
Yeah. We are entitled to certain rights, and privacy is one of them. And I don't want to see that removed because it's a slippery slope. You know,
but you respect the fact.
You know, it's not a snowflake that causes an avalanche. You know, it's when it compiles and compiles and compiles.
And I agree with that. I mean, I think unchecked power tends to end up being malicious at some point in all forms, right?
Always is.
But I guess what I would ask is, okay, we obviously disagree about it, but do you appreciate someone like me looks at something like this and says, okay, the concern I have about unchecked power and somehow this data being used maliciously against me is a valid trade-off for the benefits to it?
Yeah, just go back to Benjamin Franklin.
I know. Yep.
Every time.
What is it? Trade a little freedom for security and you end up with neither, right?
Yep. You deserve neither. No, he said you deserve neither security or liberty. Is it security or liberty? Safety or liberty.
Safety or liberty.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think our forefathers were brilliant, and this experiment has been incredible, and I'm not questioning what they taught us, and I think a little bit of safety is not worth I just see it as, in the end, I think there'll be more loss than lives saved. I just think if your motivation is to save lives, there's plenty of ways to do it. Give people, encourage people, create a campaign to give people more guns. You know what I mean? Not less. And we'll just police it ourselves. And that's the thing.
Well, I think we'd be way further along that surveillance state or a dystopian future if we didn't have guns. I think 100%. That's what's kept us.
I think we need to get back into firearm safety. What was it called when we were kids? We'd go through something where we got like a hunter safety course where we encourage, because they're tools, and we should be encouraging people to use tools and use them wisely.
What happened to home ec and shop? And I used to, they would teach you safety. They would teach you how to use a shotgun. I think education and responsible use will deter a lot of the nonsense that we have today. Whenever you make something that forbidden thing, that's what all the bad guys want. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just like all the gun laws, and I'll say it, like, everybody knows my two-way stance anyway, but like all the rules we're making don't apply to you and me because
they don't follow the rules.
It's the guys that don't follow them. So who are you hurting,
Yeah, I know we can't reverse what's done, but we can stand up and put a stop to what could potentially be, and that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, now it's mitigating its growth. Like, we have to, we're
and
minding the shot.
People are talking about putting in regulation. We got to regulate this. Who's regulating it? People. I don't trust people at the end of the day. People get so far removed.
About flock cameras.
Not just flock, any of them. Surveillance. I just don't like the idea
But
of
again,
surveillance.
I keep going back to connecting the dots. Until I see a way that data would be used against me maliciously, then I'm always going to weight it towards the benefit as opposed to the
Maybe
risk.
I've seen enough examples and I don't know how to articulate them. I've heard enough examples. I've seen plenty of people that are being falsely accused just because the AI said it's so, and some investigator did not investigate. They just said, yep, the AI said go pick this person up, and they go pick this person up sometimes across the country, and they get basically convicted before any kind of trial, and now they're fighting for their life. And I'm just like, I don't like that.
There are a number of cases like that where the oversight, which should be human oversight, a trained investigator, an experienced, you would hope, are defaulting to what AI is saying. So there's been cases where I've read some of these, they get an 87 to 90 something % hit. They're not doing the investigation because they're like, what are the chances that it's wrong? And they're wrongly convicting some folks based on that, or attempting to do so.
Yeah. And you can't fight
and not everyone has the money or the know how to fight back.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that that's valid, but I would counter that with,
see, I told you
it's probably. Well,
I like this though. I like the challenge.
I like it too.
I would just say that, okay, whatever success rate AI has or failure rate, let's say it's 10%. I would guess it's less than that.
Yeah, it's very small.
Chances are that failure rate is still smaller than human if you add the human element, right? So I think that you're just trading one negative.
But
for
when a
another
human
negative.
makes mistakes, there's accountability. If you make enough mistakes, you're going to get fired for what you're doing. This one AI is acting on behalf of itself. It's like one consolidated entity. and there's no repercussions no matter how many mistakes it makes. And I just don't think you can weigh the pros with the cons in the long run. I just have a feeling that, here I am talking about feelings. And I'm against feelings. I'll hold myself accountable. And I'm not educated anyway. I like to talk a lot of shit. I joke around about it, but it does scare me. It does scare me. It bothers me every time I see one. I'm thinking, what in the hell are we doing? Why are we allowing this to happen? I don't like any surveillance.
Can I ask you a question?
Much less more.
How do you feel about capital punishment?
I love it. I think we should abolish prisons. And I think because I look in the Bible and the only time you had like any kind of prison was for mental health, right? And you don't want to punish someone.
So you support the death penalty?
Oh, 100%. You hurt a child, you kill a human, you die.
Okay,
you commit a crime, you get a drug charge or you hurt someone, instead of going to prison, give them 20 lashings. Make them suffer. I like that.
But
I have no problem with it.
Let's compare that. Let's make an analogy. Innocent people have been executed.
Yep.
So using that same argument that you bring up about AI and people being wrongly convicted, it's a small percentage. Then how can you justify the death penalty knowing that there is a small percentage where errors have been made?
Good question. That capital punishment's been around forever.
And I support it. And I recognize that there is an error.
But I like it because it requires human effort. I don't like giving all the power to the AI. I just don't like it.
Again, humans have made the mistakes. DNA has come back and proven that someone couldn't have done.
It's complicated. This is very complicated.
And there's it's rather final.
Exactly.
What state just brought back the firing squad? There was a state that just brought it back. I don't know, Arkansas or something like that. Or somebody brought it back, and it's all right. So firing squad. Later on, they found out he was innocent. Can't bring him back.
I know. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely flawed. We're definitely flawed.
Well, again,
but I don't want to exaggerate.
Just drawing the comparison that when you look at something and you say, I don't like it because of the potential margin for error.
You're forcing me to think, and you're forcing me to go and do more research. Not to prove my point. No, I like it. I like it. If I'm going to keep talking about this, I need to educate myself a little bit more.
I appreciate the challenge and the perspective, because we could easily, like you said, become an echo chamber if we're all sitting here agreeing. So your perspective is very much appreciated.
Like, here's where my evidence comes from. Just knowing a little bit about history, not much, and what I have consumed has been very convincing. I am not qualified to regurgitate what I'm learning, but I should study a little bit more. I don't know history enough, and I don't know... everybody wants to talk about the good. They keep talking about what the good things. Oh, this 2-year-old little daughter was just rescued because of this DoorDasher, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, okay, that's wonderful. But I thought, if your motivation is literally just to save lives, at the end of the day, it's saving lives. There's a lot more lives that could be saved, literally. And I don't think you can justify it. I really don't. I think in the end, it terrifies me. Less government is always going to be, if you tell me more government, I'm against you, period. I don't even need an argument. Less government all the time, less surveillance all the time. I like that.
I agree. I'm very small government.
I think at the end of the day, I may not be able to generate examples that you're looking for, but I just go to the core values of what, Franklin said.
So maybe you're here on the cynicism scale and I'm just slightly above you. I'm not normally above people on the cynicism
I think
scale.
It's an inherent instinct. Just knowing a little bit about civics, knowing a little bit about rights, and I'm no expert, but I just kind of tune in when something feels off and say, hold on, I think our forefathers were against this. I'm against it too, because I believe in what they put together.
Well, it's going to seem like a weird tangent to go on, but there is a connection. Look at the tests that they put us through with COVID.
This is all the example I need. The most recent.
The government tests. Yes. It says, okay, what can we do? What will people tolerate? Oh shit, they'll tolerate a lot. Let's push them a little bit further.
Through my ignorance, all you had to do was give that example for me to say, yeah, I'm against flock cameras. Just when you consolidate power, because we say it all the time, power corrupts. Absolute power
corrupts absolutely. Yeah.
So I think just knowing what human beings are capable of, especially when they live in fear, they make some really, really wild choices.
The worst parts for me were the teachers' pets. You know what I mean? The guys that were just self-policing and reporting on your neighbors.
If you read the Gulag Archipelago, that was the big part of it. People were turning their neighbors in for borrowing sugar and not returning it. Like, they were turning each other in for crazy stuff because no one wanted to be a victim of that. So they thought the best way is to get on the good side and report your neighbors. And people were being shipped off to prisons. and dying from starvation. And here's how bad it got. It got so bad because what? I'll give you a little bit of history. So it was socialism that just swept through the Soviet Union, and they got to a point that you have to share. You have to share. It's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the government. So they would go to these farms in the middle of the night and politely request that the owner of the farm, which was typically the father, come on out and talk to us. And they were kind and sweet, and they'd say, just come down. We got some questions for you. Never to be seen again. Okay, so now this farm collapsed because people started hoarding what they had, because you're required to share in a socialistic, communistic society. Well, because they took the people that were actually producing, everyone started starving to death, and it got really bad. It got so bad that they switched to cannibalism. Normal people, they could be an attorney, they could be a school teacher. They were just normal civilians that would be caught out on the street, and the policing got so bad, where's your papers? And if you didn't have your papers, it's no big deal. Come with us. They take them down to the police station and say, well, you're going to get sent off to the gulag, which means prison. Archipelago, which means chain of island. Because they ran out of prison room right in the city, they started shipping them up. And the people they put in charge to kind of moderate were the prisoners, believe it or not, because they kind of knew how to rule. They put them on these islands, and they said, basically, you got to fend for yourself. And within 1 week, people switched to cannibalism, and they were not eating the living. They were eating, so they were not eating the dead. They were eating the living. They would cut breasts off. They would cut calf muscles off. 1 week is all it took for people to switch. That's the kind, we have these examples for a reason, and it's mandatory reading in Russia. You have to read this. You have to know your history in Russia because they have to remember how bad it can get when you let governments have that much power. And I just see those examples and I say, well, it happened. And this lasted all the way up into the 1960s. And how does no one know that? It started in the 30s, 1930s. This isn't hundreds of years ago.
Right.
This was while my parents were partying. These horrific things happen.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, but I mean, now you're comparing communism, right?
That's what this leads to.
Obviously, any unchecked power ultimately moves in that direction.
Yeah, when you're making your choices based on your feelings versus facts. The only thing I really like about Ben Shapiro these days is his quote, facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
But it's true. I don't know. Yeah, I'm no expert. We're just a couple hillbillies sitting in my little office bullshitting. But it's fun to talk about. It did get deeper than I expected. I thought we'd talk shit about running them over or something. But I appreciate you challenging me on this.
I do too. Also, it's really great to see him stop for a second and be like, whoa.
Yeah. I wasn't prepared.
Happens.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Like you probably deserve some sort of award, and everybody's clapping on the other end.
I bet you probably don't disagree with me because you haven't even looked into it. Not that I've looked into it too much.
But it's good to steel man an argument.
Absolutely.
Like, absolutely good to do that.
Devil's advocate,
makes you think,
man.
makes you change.
Well, and even
so you're not for or against. You don't really have an opinion, do you?
Cameras?
You're looking for evidence.
Exactly.
That's the way I took it. I didn't take it like he was challenging me because he was opposing me. He's just looking for more evidence. I told you, he's not easily swayed. I said that from the very beginning.
But I am pretty open-minded. I mean, a lot of times I think I'm asking probing questions to convince myself, right? And it comes off as challenge, and I don't mean it that way.
No, I don't mind it at all.
You're genuinely trying to learn.
It makes for great conversation.
It really does.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it proves that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about just yet. I can always...
Well, you do, right? But a lot of times when you're presented with an analogy like that, you kind of think you have to reconcile in your own mind, okay, why am I okay with this, but I'm not okay with this? And a lot of times you
100%.
can distill it down to a much more fundamental
But I'm not okay with any of it. The plate readers, I'm not okay with any of it. I say, get out there. You want to bust somebody?
I'm saying like capital punishment. You're okay with the margin of error in it. You still support it. But yet with the AI, you're challenging it because of the margin for error. So just kind of reconciling those two things.
You threw me a curveball. I wasn't
It
prepared.
really does, because it's literally lives at stake.
Right.
On one end. So that's one hell of a curveball.
Yeah. It's a hard question, though. I'm not convinced it was fair. I'm going to have to revisit it.
Oh, it was fair. And like I said, it may not even be, it may not be a true equivalency, but.
Yeah, because when you're talking about like the capital punishment was tough. That was a tough one because there is margins of error. And I don't have an answer for that, but I still believe in capital punishment. But we're fallible. We're going to make mistakes.
Well, and that's kind of the same argument.
That's the point.
I don't mind. I'm okay with some element of human error. The AI scare me. Just knowing what I know about
Well, you know a lot more than most, so.
Yeah, just knowing what I know and what they're capable of. And if human beings, I just see how much people, so many people are just lazy. Like the people you said that are overweight riding the bicycle. It's the same principle. People are just going to stop doing their job and say, yeah, they look guilty to me. You know, what's that movie with Tom Cruise?
Or it's easier. Minority Report.
Minority Report.
Yeah,
like
that was a good
shit,
movie, man.
Like that terrifies me.
There was the latest one with Chris Pratt, too.
Yeah.
That just came out last
where
year.
he was, the AI was judge and jury.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was that
where we're
Tomorrow
going.
War or something
We're
like
creating that
I
world.
think it was. No, that was the one that was on Amazon. I can't remember
No,
what it was
what was
called.
the name of that AI that Chris Pratt was basically? That's what it was about. It was this AI that basically, it didn't predict, it just used surveillance.
Yeah, it was an AI.
It was using surveillance.
Judge.
Okay.
Yeah. And, I know we're going to make mistakes, but we've been making mistakes since the beginning of time. But it's like looking at nuclear weapons. I think that's a mistake, and there's no going back, and it terrifies me. Like, that's too much power. That's too much power, and I don't think we should just, we have one nuclear weapon, we should make more. No, I don't think so.
But that's actually a pretty good analogy, right? None of us like it, but we need it.
We need it because we put ourselves in a bind. I like nuclear power. I think that's good. It's just unfortunate we've built weapons that will completely decimate the entire species.
Well, right, but in the global culture that we live in, if the United States doesn't have nuclear weapons, China or Russia is going to basically be the world power.
My point
like
is,
Ronald Reagan.
I think my point is that we probably should have never created them. Just because we can.
Exactly.
I think the idea is just because we can do something, should we? And it's always in the name of safety. Anytime I hear, it's for your safety, every alarm bell I have goes off. Every alarm bell I have. If you really want to make us safe, encourage us to protect ourselves. Give us laws that allow us to protect ourselves appropriately. Not if I try to protect myself, I have a fear of, being persecuted and losing everything I have because did I make the right decision? I see all these crazy laws going in that they want you to be convinced that this person that broke in your house your life was in danger and you're not allowed to pull a trigger unless you are convinced. Like, good grief. You think he's running around with a pistol in his hand while he's robbing you? No, it's probably he wants to appear, but you can't. Somebody's in your house, you got to kill them, especially if they're not invited. I want that kind of, justice. Shouldn't be in somebody's house.
Well, you kind of even alluded to anarchy earlier. You said you don't fully support it or anything.
I'm not
like
an
that.
anarchist. I believe in the rule of law.
But there's an element to anarchy that, like, when you talk about the government protecting us with these laws for the sake of safety, it's kind of like you don't want people to be protected. When you do something stupid, you should pay the price for doing something stupid.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. If I do something stupid, I should pay the price.
It's kind of like parenting, right?
I mean, that's natural selection at its finest.
I think anarchy is going to be the result at some point, and many, many people are going to die. And then we'll look back on it 100 years later and then decide.
But I'm just saying, like, if you liken government control and these nanny state policies to parenting, we fucked, us at our age, we love to bitch about Gen Z and millennials, but we fucked them all up because we didn't let them deal with adversity when they were younger.
That's right.
100%.
So we didn't teach them how to deal with adversity, and it's the same thing with the
parents'
government.
faults.
If the government keeps trying to take everything away that could potentially be adversarial, you're creating a bunch of soft people who don't know how to deal with it.
It happens every 100 years, pretty much.
Well, listen.
was
With the nuclear stuff, real quick though. I mean,
I could be wrong. Maybe it's far-fetched.
they called it the arms race, not the race to an arms. Mutually assured destruction kind of keeps us at bay. I'm not scared of the guy that wants 10. I'm scared of the guy that just wants 1.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, that's what we need to watch out for.
I'm just scared of the guy, period. Anyone that's seeking power, influence over others, freaks me out. Just do you, live life, and leave people alone. I can handle my own. You come after mine, I got myself. I don't need any help, in the reality. I feel like that. Now, because we live in a world of laws, then I have to abide by those laws, and so I'm going to participate in that. But when it all dissolves and we go into an anarchist state, I'm okay. I'll be fine, is the way I look at it.
I mean, that's a fine line to walk. I agree for the most part on live and let live, as long as you're not pushing it into my yard. But we've talked about this many times. We don't like bullies.
I don't.
And
I don't like anyone telling me how I have to live my life.
The bigger dudes that work out got to stand up for the dude
I know.
that can't defend himself.
I like the 10 Commandments. They're perfect. They're perfect. You break one, there should be some form of justice. Well, I don't know about all the 10 commandments, but you know what I mean? Just leave people alone.
Yeah.
Go and do your thing. Quit forcing your opinion on me. I don't like that. You don't know what's best for me. I don't know what's best for you. Don't tell me to get a COVID shot. Don't tell me, leave me alone.
So
Quit trying to convince me that you know what's best for me. Yeah. When you have no concept, especially when you get so high up in politics and you've been in it so long, you lose that connection to what it's like to just be a normal living human. Most people just want to work, take care of their kids. I mean, for the most part, people are good, man. I go all over the world. I don't have any problems. None. I go in horrifying places. For most people, I don't have any problems. I treat people with respect. They treat me with respect. I'm not some badass. I just leave you alone. I don't try to bother you, and they don't bother me. And we live in a really wonderful time in human history. This is the greatest time in all of human history. The safest. And let's make it safer. Let's make it safer. And it just, I'm like, what are you talking about?
It boils down to, I think the philosophy is love all, trust few, harm none.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
You know?
Anything we missed?
No, but let me just ask you one quick thing, right? Because we talked about this the other night. So I'm a pure libertarian, and I believe 100% in personal autonomy. So, like, how do you feel about euthanasia? Self-euthanizing?
You know, there's one thing, like, part of me, it's complicated. Part of me is like, hey, you do you. But then this Christian part of me is like, I'm not sure. It's none of my business what you want for yourself. As far as I'm
concerned, you just crossed the line.
Pardon?
As far as I'm concerned, you just crossed the line. You just contradicted.
Well, I was trying to think through it. Give me a second to think through it.
But just know where I'm asking this, and I'm not.
Can I think about it for a second before I answer? Because that's a hard. You're talking about suicide.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what my opinion is on that? I can tell you what I generally say. Whatever you feel is right for you, buddy. Because I mean, I know why people typically commit suicide. It's for shame, the lowest sensation that a human can feel. And, you know, I'm not an advocate for it.
Is that scientifically proven that it's shame?
I think the lowest level of consciousness is shame and guilt that they've been able to measure.
I would challenge that, but go on.
Maybe. That's just what I've read, you know, through different books. But the sensation that people feel when they do typically do this is a sense of shame, a burden on their family. And, you know, I've had experience with suicide, not me personally, but my family. I'm close enough to it. And I thought, why would they do that? I think I know how people get there, and it's small choices that lead to that eventually. But also, there's people that have dealt with things that I have no concept of. I have no point of reference of being raped. You know, I have no clue what some people get to go or have to go through.
Suffering.
I don't know. I don't think I'm an advocate. Are you asking me? Your question was, am I okay? Would I allow that?
Would you support it if the law were in your hands? The decision on the law were in your hands?
I'd have to really think about that. I think it'd be irresponsible of me to answer that.
Okay, but the reason I bring that up is because I truly, at my core, believe in personal autonomy. I believe I should be able to do whatever I want.
As long as you do not infringe on someone else.
As long as I'm not infringing on somebody else, then I should be able to. And I think the euthanasia is actually a very complex type of part of that argument because it boils down to the core. It's my life, so if I want to end it, I should be able to. I'm not saying I like it, but I'm saying...
I think where I would probably be very concerned is if it becomes socially acceptable, like normalized. It just feels like something demonic is taking over in that culture, causing that to happen.
It's fairly normalized now. There's chambers and
I'm saying there's something
especially the younger generation.
Because I think some people may be getting influenced into that.
Yeah.
You know,
encouraged.
That's a very complex question, and I'd like some more time to think about it. I think my gut tells me it's two sides. You know what I mean? You have moral,
yes,
and you know we're humans. You know, these are very complex questions, but I generally think whatever you're into, do you, man.
That's
drugs,
why I bring it up.
I got no problem, drugs, but don't do something that could risk the lives of others. That's where I have a problem.
We talked about it the other night. Yeah. If you're going to tell me I can't eat, smoke, do whatever I want with something I can grow in my own yard, that drives me.
I mean, that's the American spirit.
Agreed.
That's what we're built on.
Exactly.
You do you, I'm going to do me, and I'll be respectful to you, and if
the
you're not respectful,
that line,
if you're not respectful, I'll
handle it.
It's
It's very difficult, though, because to look at it from a perspective of faith, this life isn't my own. It's a gift.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. It's not mine.
And I have a lot of trouble with that, you know, justifying it. However, I understand physically the argument of somebody living in daily excruciating pain that I can't fathom. and them wanting that to end and them asking God to end it, and they persist. That's something I can't speak to. But in my heart, I cannot agree with it, simply because God gave me this gift, and who am I to throw it back? I can't.
But real quick, relating any type of argument that talks about like this ideology around personal autonomy, and then conflating it with religion, kind of breaks the entire discussion to begin with, because you have to respect that not everybody adheres to that religion
as well. That's a good point too.
So you really,
and I can't force my religion
but
upon
my
you.
values, my values stem from that.
To me, it would be a fair statement to say, okay, personally, I cannot agree with that, but I completely understand and think that I would have to accept it.
Yeah, I may not even understand, but I'm not going to tell somebody not to do something. I may try to help them, but at the end of the day, if your mind's made up, I'm jump. If I don't know. But I think in my heart, I would make my best attempt to say, hey, man, let's just talk.
Well, but we're kind of, that's a different part of the discussion, but we're three very opinionated, strong personality guys, right? So when you say that you believe in personal autonomy and freedom, you almost have to swallow that hard pill with the toughest subjects to say, all right, it sucks, but
you're making it very black and white. But life is, because we're human, there's a gray area in between. So, and that's what makes us so beautiful.
But everything does boil down to black and white. Every single opinion that you have that's a strong opinion, you should be able to distill it down to the most core, basic understanding.
I've always thought of everything on a spectrum. It's to what degree. I am this, I think this, but it's always to what degree. Some things I'm not as convicted on, but I am pretty convicted on what our forefathers put together. We're blessed to be able to live in this society. And I'm thinking, well, that's what they wrote down, and I agree with it. Right or wrong, maybe there's going to be some casualties along the way. And I'm like the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? Yep. People die because we have that right. But I think far more people are alive and living prospering because of it. So, I don't think you can isolate a few things and say, well, because these bad things happen, you should remove all these. I think the opposite's going to happen. You remove these things, these rights, it's going to be infinitely worse, just because we see the examples around the world.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And in a case like that, I absolutely agree. And I do agree with most of these issues. There is a spectrum.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, I think when you're talking about a lot of these issues, such as personal autonomy and freedom, you have to be able to make it black and white and say, well, if I agree with this, I have to agree with that, even if it's begrudgingly.
At the end of the day, I feel like you know what's best for you.
Yep.
Now, if you have a child inside of you, it's like, I would want to represent that child and be like, how long? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You made the foolish mistake. Now you have a responsibility. We're getting into abortion, and that's a whole nother topic that I've never really talked about, but I have my personal beliefs. It is very black and white for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that particular topic. But this shit's complicated. It's very complicated.
It all is.
This has never been a political, very opinionated show, but these are interesting topics that the whole world is struggling with. Yeah. And if we can bring it, make it a little bit lighter.
Well, I'd like to piggyback on that. We don't have a political agenda.
No,
but we are a highly opinionated show.
Yeah.
Just remove every guest we've ever had and just put you and me. This is a highly opinionated room.
I'm more opinionated off
the show. A podcast would suck if you didn't have your
opinion.
Yeah,
and that's the
point.
I have
convictions
more
than opinions. My opinions can change, but my convictions are pretty rock solid. But they're based on values that I've interpreted, standards. What would you say? We'll just boil it down to values that just
and your experiences, your life experiences too.
Of course.
And
we agree on the spectrum thing mostly because we're on it. But I will say this: I would like to set a motion on the floor that Jason come back as soon as humanly possible.
Let me educate myself,
because not only just for the rebuttal, but you have been one of the most, in the best way, challenging conversationalists we've had.
Yeah.
And we need more of that. I really, truly enjoyed the way you've challenged.
You can tell why we have good conversations.
Absolutely. And I hope you would consider coming back just on any topic.
Let me know when. I'll be here. I love conversations like this.
Yeah.
He comes in here to shoot pool, and we're supposed to be drinking and hanging out, and everyone's doing that, and we're over in the corner,
we
solving
have
all life's problems.
It's rare that you get to have conversations. There's a lot of people that I love, and I love to bullshit with, but it wouldn't be somebody that I would necessarily, unless I find that thing that we can really talk about for an hour. And And I barely know you. I know way more
this was
people
very
way
much
better.
Substance. There's
But
substance.
there was something, some kind of cadence in the way we would talk, the things that we would talk about. It wasn't just kiss each other's ass. It was, oh, you have an opinion on that? So,
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but I guess I'll just leave it for next time. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, but
I
definitely.
was just going to challenge it anyway, whatever you said.
Attaboy.
More than likely. Yeah. Man, it was, I don't know how good it was. There was something about, had something to do with conviction. I can't really remember what it is. But for the most part, I think this is what I was going to say. Something like, I don't try, my goal is not to, I could be wrong. I look at everything and think, I could be crazy and I could be wrong. So I'm cautious in how much I try to convince someone. You know what I mean?
I think that's exactly why we enjoy talking to each other.
That's why I never get defensive. Because I'm always accepting the fact that I'm wrong. Yeah. And I think if we can practice that, we won't, you know what I mean? People get set and they refuse. They refuse to see someone else as they suffer from, a cognitive dissonance in some way. And I think, if we could just be okay with being wrong and just not trying to force everybody wants to convince someone. That's the goal. Yeah. And I'm against that.
You mentioned echo chambers earlier. Since that term became commonplace, I absolutely love it because everybody's living in their echo chamber right now.
But they choose to.
No, they're afraid.
I don't think they realize
they're terrified of their belief system being updated. They're terrified of allowing someone to challenge their belief system because it means they're wrong and it could shake their foundation. It's terrifying to have to do that until you start practicing it, and you that's growth.
The tradition train is a comfortable ride, brother. Yeah. Like you, how often are we? It's always been done this way. This is the way we've always done it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That has made many, many of people's lives, organizations, businesses as stagnant can get. Yep. So always be teachable. Always be willing to know that you're not the smartest person in the room. I mean, I want to learn till the day I die, right?
But people are not actively making these decisions. It's just happening. It's the world we're in with social media. It just reinforces and galvanizes everybody's strongest opinions.
Watch our world leaders. It's not about talking. It's about convincing the other person and proving them wrong. It doesn't matter how insane your idea is. Those are the examples we watch on news, our politicians, and I'm disgusted by all of it. Those are the people that I'm worried about. The people that think they know what's best for me terrify me. And they're also the ones implementing this technology with our dollars. I think we should have a say.
It's back to the flock cameras.
I'm done.
He's turning it around.
I'm done. You got anything else?
Boys and girls, we hope to have you back, Jason.
I will. I hope too.
Sincerely, fantastic conversation.
Until next time, so long, friends.